I opened the door. Shoes on the floor, jacket on the chair, voices upstairs, low, urgent. A laugh I knew too well. I froze, my wife's voice, and another, my brother's. I climbed the stairs slow, step by step, the door half open. I saw them, her hand on his arm, his face too close, her whisper no one can know. My chest locked, blood roared in my ears. I pushed the door wide, they spun around, eyes wide, faces pale. Explain, I said, my voice low, sharp, deadly. No one spoke, not her, not him. And in that silence, I knew the truth. The room froze, her eyes wide, his jaw tight. I stepped inside, closed the door behind me. Silence heavy. Say something, I demanded, no answer. Just breathing. I pointed at her. You first, she stammered. It's not what it looks like. I laughed, sharp, bitter. Not what it looks like. My wife in my brother's arms. Then what is it? She shook her head, tears already forming. I made a mistake. I turned to him. My own blood, my brother. Tell me you didn't, I said. He looked straight at me. No guilt, no shame, just calm. I did. The words cut deep, like a knife to the chest. I lunged, grabbed his shirt, shoved him against the wall. Why? I shouted. Why him? Why her? He didn't fight back. Didn't flinch. He just whispered. Because she wanted me. Her sob burst out. Stop, she cried. Please, stop. I turned to her, my grip still tight on him. You chose him? My own brother? She shook her head violently. No, I didn't choose, it just happened. I let go of him. He straightened his shirt, smirked. It wasn't an accident. I spun back, my fist clenched. I wanted to hit him, break him. But her scream stopped me. If you hit him, you lose me forever! Her words hit harder than any punch. I froze, looked at her, at him, at us. Everything I built, everything I trusted, shattered in one night. We grew up together, me and him, brothers. Blood, he was always behind me. School fights, I stepped first, he followed. Jobs, I worked, he copied. Girls, he wanted what I had. When I met her, everything changed. She was light, she was warmth. She made me believe in forever. I introduced them. Of course I did. He was family. My brother. I trusted him with my life. At the wedding, he stood beside me. Best man. Smiling. Clapping me on the back. Whispering, she's perfect for you. For years, it was normal. Dinners together. Holidays, he was Uncle Mike to our kid. Always around. Sometimes too much. I'd find them laughing in the kitchen. Private jokes. Eyes meeting too long. I told myself I was paranoid. She was my wife, he was my brother. What could go wrong? But little things built up. Missed calls. Her phone face down. Her smile fading when I entered the room. Once I came home early. She was on the phone, voice low. She said, I can't talk now. He's here. She hung up quick. I asked who it was. She said, wrong number. I wanted to believe. I did believe. Because the truth was too dark. Too impossible. I ignored the signs. Until tonight. Until the door. Until the voices upstairs. Until the sight of her hand on him. And then I knew. It wasn't new. It wasn't sudden. It was years. Years of betrayal under my roof. The door slammed. He left. Just me and her. The silence heavy. My chest burning. She stood by the window. Arms folded. Eyes wet. Not looking at me. I paced the room. Back and forth. Every step sharper than the last. Talk, I said. Nothing. Say something, I shouted. Finally, her lips moved. I never meant for this to happen. I laughed. Harsh. Bitter. You never meant? Years and you never meant? She turned. Tears down her face. I was lonely. My fists clenched. Lonely? You had me? You had a family? And you chose him? Her voice broke. You weren't here. You worked. You drank. You shut me out. He listened. I froze. My heart pounding. You're blaming me? Her shoulders shook. I'm not excusing it, but I was weak, and he was there. I stepped closer. Tell me the truth. How long? She looked down, silent. Oh, lo and gee, her whisper cut through me. 5 years. The floor tilted. My stomach dropped. 5 years, half a decade. I grabbed the chair, held on before I collapsed. You lied to my face. Every night. Every day. She sobbed. I wanted to stop. I tried, but it was too late. I shook my head. No, You didn't try. You chose him. Again and again. She reached for me. I pulled back. Her hand hung in the air, shaking, empty. Do you love him? I asked. Her silence said enough. I shouted louder. Dio! Whoa! Lohem! Her voice cracked. Yes. The words split me open. I stumbled back, like I'd been punched. She cried harder. I still love you too, but it's different. It's broken. I don't know who I am anymore. I turned away, my eyes blurred. I pressed my fists to the wall. Blood rushed in my ears. You destroyed us, I whispered. Our marriage, our family, everything. Her sobs filled the room, but I didn't turn back. Not once. The house was silent. Her sobs had stopped. Only my breathing filled the room, heavy, ragged. I sat at the table, hands shaking, whiskey untouched. Papers scattered. She walked in, face pale, eyes red, her voice cracked. There's more. I looked up, cold, empty. More? She nodded slowly. I should have told you years ago, but I couldn't. My chest tightened. Say it. Her lips trembled. It's about our son. The floor vanished under me. My head spun. I gripped the table. What about him? She looked down, silent too long. Then, he might not be yours. The world collapsed. Air left my lungs. I slammed my fist on the table. Her tears fell. When it started with your brother, I didn't know. The timing. I prayed he was yours. I told myself it didn't matter, but I never checked. I staggered back, hit the wall. My knees buckled. I felt sick, bile in my throat. You mean? My voice broke. You mean he could be his? She nodded, covered her face. Yes. My vision blurred, images flashing, holding my son for the first time, teaching him to ride a bike, his first day of school. Every smile, every hug, and now, maybe not mine, maybe his. My brother's. I shouted so loud the windows rattled. All these years, you let me believe. You let me raise him, love him as mine while you knew. She collapsed to her knees. I didn't know for sure. I told myself the lie because the truth would destroy us. I leaned forward, grabbed her shoulders, forced her to look at me. Destroy us. You already did. She sobbed harder. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I let go, stumbled back, my body shaking. I whispered, get out. Her head snapped up. What? Get out. My voice was ice. She crawled closer. No, please. Don't. I roared, pointed at the door, my chest heaving, my vision burning. She froze, her sobs choking. Then slowly she stood, her steps heavy, her hand on the door. She looked back once, her face broken, her lips moved, but no sound came. The door closed. Silence swallowed me. I sat in the dark, hands over my face, and I whispered one word, a word I never thought I'd say. Betrayal. The house was silent, too silent, her footsteps gone, her sobs gone, only me. I sat in the kitchen, one lamp on, whiskey glass in my hand, cigarette burning down. The paper from the lab lay on the table, the one that proved my son was mine. Or wasn't. I stared at it, words swimming. But now I wasn't sure anymore. Now I didn't know if any of it was real. I saw his face in my mind. My boy, his smile, his laugh, the way he called me dad. And then I saw my brother's face. Same jawline, same eyes. The resemblance I never noticed before, or maybe refused to notice. I poured another drink, hands shaking, liquid spilled on the table. I whispered, what if he's not mine? The thought burned worse than the whiskey, worse than the betrayal, worse than the affair. Because if he wasn't mine, then what was I? Just a stranger raising another man's child, just a fool living a lie. I stood paced the room, back and forth. My steps echoed in the dark. I wanted answers. Needed them. A DNA test. The truth on paper. No more guessing. But another voice inside whispered, what if the truth kills him? What if he finds out? What if he learns the man he called dad all his life isn't his father? Would he hate me? Would he hate her? Would he run to him? To my brother? I slammed my fist on the table. Glass tipped, shattered. Whiskey spilled across the floor. I dropped to my knees, picked up the pieces. One cut my hand. Blood dripped. I didn't care. I whispered again. He's my son. Mine. But the doubt ate at me. Every second, every breath. I sat back down, lit another cigarette. Smoke filled the air. The lamp flickered. The night stretched endless. 1 hour. 2, 3, no sleep. Just me and the truth I couldn't face. By dawn, the decision was made. I would find out. I had to, no matter the cost. Because silence was already killing me. Morning came slow. Gray light through the blinds. I hadn't slept, eyes burning, hands shaking. My son walked into the kitchen, yawning, smiling. "Morning, Dad." His voice stabbed me, so normal, so innocent. I forced a smile. "Morning." He grabbed cereal, poured milk, sat at the table. I watched him, every move, every feature, my blood or his. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, closed the door, stared in the mirror. Decision made. I pulled out the kit, ordered it days ago, back when suspicion was just a shadow. Now it was life or death. I swabbed. Careful, precise, sealed the envelope. Later that day, I asked him casually, "Hey, can I check something for a project?" He shrugged.
Sure.
Swabbed. No questions, no suspicion. I sealed the second sample. My hands trembled. At the post office, I slipped the envelope into the slot, watched it vanish. My chest felt heavy, like I'd mailed away my whole life. Days passed, slow, each one endless. At night, I sat alone, whiskey glass, cigarette smoke, clock ticking. My thoughts tearing me apart. What if he's not mine? Would I tell him? Would I keep it silent? Could I ever look at him the same? The waiting was worse than the truth. Every ring of the phone made my chest clench. Every knock at the door made me jump. Finally, the envelope came, white, heavy, like a coffin in my hand. I sat at the table, hands shaking, sweat on my forehead. I ripped it open. My eyes ran across the page, each word stabbed, each line heavier. I froze. My breath caught. The room spun. The truth was right there. And nothing would ever be the same again. The paper shook in my hands. My eyes scanned it again and again. The words didn't change. They burned deeper every time. Probability of paternity 2%. My breath stopped. The room spun. The world ended in silence. He wasn't mine. Not by blood. Not by flesh. All those years, every hug, every laugh, every dad, lies. Or maybe truth of another kind. I didn't know anymore. I dropped the paper. It slid across the table, landed face up. The words stared back at me. Footsteps. Light. Familiar. "Dad," his voice called. He walked into the kitchen, hair messy, still half asleep. "Everything okay?" he asked. I froze. The word "Dad" cut me open. He looked at me with those eyes. Not mine, but still his, still my boy. I forced a smile. "Yeah," I said. "Everything's fine." He grabbed juice, sat at the table, started talking about school, friends, plans. I didn't hear the words, just his voice. The same voice I'd heard since the day he was born. The voice that made me a father. Inside, a war raged. Tell him. Don't tell him. Destroy him with truth. Protect him with silence. He laughed at something. That laugh, my chest cracked, my eyes burned. I whispered in my head, "He's not my son." Then another voice louder. "He's mine anyway." I looked at him, really looked. Not for features, not for blood, but for the boy who grew up with me. The boy I raised, the boy who called me Dad. And I knew I couldn't take that from him. Not now, not ever. I stood, picked up the paper, crushed it in my fist, walked to the sink, lit a match, watched it burn, ashes falling into nothing. He looked up. "What was that?" I said. "Just trash." He shrugged, kept talking, smiling. I sat back down, hands trembling, heart breaking. I stayed silent, for him, for me, for the lie we both needed. Because some truths don't save, they only destroy. And this secret would die with me.